Okay, let's say you've been around a narcissist for quite some time, and it may be someone in your home, your extended family, place of work, social life. And over time, you begin realizing, there seems to be some sort of conniving something or another going on in that person's life that I'm just not privy to. You just have the feeling that they are hiding things from you, or there's some sort of secret back there that they're doing at least a reasonably good job in their mind, keeping it from you. If that's the case, I think you may need to become aware of what I refer to as the rat theory. Now, I want you to think about a rat. You see a rat right out in your room and running around. The rat theory says, and every time you see a rat, there might be about 15 behind the wall that you don't see. And that rat that you do see can be so skilled at being able to run behind the wall in ways that you don't even know how they get there. And they hang out with their rat buddies doing whatever it is that rats do. Human beings can sometimes be the same way. There can be a hidden world that narcissists actually live in that you will not know about. They can have preferences or ideas or behaviors or schemes and all that they just don't want you to know about, but it's very real to them, and they may have some partners and people in their world that allow them to do whatever it is they do, usually in a very devious way. See, let's keep in mind various things about narcissists as a general rule. Many narcissists can be highly secretive. They can create special compartments for all of those secrets. In other words, there's some people that'll know this about me, others that'll know this. Some won't know this, but you can be privy to that. I'll let you know portions of information. Narcissists can tell half-truths or just down and out lies, or they can just rewrite the truth as you catch them in certain things that don't seem right, and then they kind of rearrange things. Narcissists are master rationalizers to themselves and to you. They can rationalize, well, you really don't need to know because I'm protecting you. I'm trying to be nice. Narcissists can be cover-up artists. Narcissists are pretenders. Narcissists can be consistently inconsistent. That's a cue that something going on there. Narcissists are schemers. Narcissists can feel like they're above the rules, and if you want to try to slap some rules on them, then they just try to figure out how to get more sneaky about doing whatever it is they're doing. Narcissists can be stealth. And so in each of these kinds of characteristics that I talked about, that's an indication that says there's something behind the scenes, the rat theory, that they're hiding from me. Now, there are all sorts of indicators that might imply that the rat theory is in fact going on. And I want to run through various kinds of behaviors that people who have these walls that they hide behind, behaviors that you might want to watch for that implies that there is indeed something going on. Now, first, we can say that many times people who have this secret life behind the scenes, they have time gaps in terms of what you know about where they are and what they're doing. It may be that frequently there's times it's like, I know they said they were at work, but I'm not really sure exactly what they're doing. And they just kind of have vague kind of explanations about what they're doing with their time. Many times, and this is a big one, they are very secretive regarding their media devices or their social devices. I've had so many people talk about how they walk in a room, that rat kind of puts that cell phone down, or they close the computer and it's like, what's going on? Oh, nothing. And they don't want you to know anything. You certainly aren't going to know passwords or things like this. They can have vagueness regarding their plans in general. Vagueness regarding their social life or meetings with others. I would know one man, for example, his wife had a job that had a lot of demands. And so let's say he would have a happy hour on a Friday afternoon, and the friends would say, where's your wife? Well, she had some stuff that she had to do at work. And in fact, she hadn't even been told anything and could have engaged with them. But it's like, no, I'll just I'll make up things as I go along. And they can do things like that can be shifty. Many times, these individuals are vague regarding their money. They do not want you to know about money. I've heard stories about secret bank accounts or secret investments and things like that, purchasing large items without saying a word to other individuals about it. Now, another indicator of the rat theory is they may be very nice in front of people and then awful behind people. The implication is they like to use people, and life is nothing but a manipulation. Or it may be another indicator that there are certain friends or associates that they talk about, but you just never have had much time with them. Now, who is James over here that you keep talking about? Oh, he's just some sort of guy. And you find out later on that they may have had all sorts of illicit kind of schemes or plans and who knows what. Many times, the rat theory is shown with what I refer to as solo patterns for alcohol abuse, marijuana use, other drugs, painkillers and things like that, where you know something might be going on, but they just don't want to let you know. They don't want to let you know how much, and there's a lot of secretiveness regarding that. These individuals also, another indicator, have a tendency in general to not be very self-disclosing. The less you know about me, the better off I'll be, and they can suppress their emotions. Sometimes, another indicator, in public, they can be extra friendly and flirtatious, and you think, hey, wait a minute, you seem to be a little bit too willing to kind of go in that direction. They can have ongoing patterns of unreliability or irresponsibility. And we could go on. And I suspect that you're kind of nodding your head thinking, oh, I've had so many of those kind of scenarios with some of these people in my world. And it's like, yeah, that's how they do it. You see this rat on this side of the wall, and then behind the wall, there's so much that might be going on that you just simply don't know. Now, if you ask the question, why did people act this way? We can come up with an extremely easy answer that would be correct, and that is they don't trust you. but it's way more than that. They don't trust you in the sense that they don't want to reveal themselves, but because they have a vested interest in not trusting you, because you might actually do something to cause them to have to be accountable. But there's a goal that they had, and this is kind of an odd kind of goal that I would throw at you, and that is they have a goal for personal peace. And you might think, peace? Well, their version of peace means leave me alone. I don't want to have to be accountable to anyone else. If I say something, you're going to get upset. And so in their mind, peace is the absence of anger and conflict so that they can keep on doing whatever it is they're doing. So their notion of peace isn't the same as your notion or my notion of peace. They know that if they reveal who they really are, then trouble would be found, and it would result in turmoil. And absolutely, they don't want that, and they don't want the accountability that goes along with it. You see, in healthy relations, we don't have these walls where we go and hide behind, and we don't have all these devious kinds of things that I was mentioning there. Instead, healthy relationships are guided by our mutuality. We can have a mutual regard for one another or a mutual respect for each other. We commit to mutual trust, mutual fidelity towards each other. We have mutual disclosure. I'll share who I am, you share who you are. We have mutual responsibilities, but with narcissists, there is no mutuality. In their life, it's all about me, and whatever they have to do to keep you pushed out, that's fine with them. Narcissists are driven by their own greed, their own lust, their own craving for power, their own self-gratification. They're driven by self-indulgence. They're driven by dreams of unlimited gain and having the favored position. That's what drives them. So when you ask why do they do that, they want peace in the sense that they just want you to leave them alone so they can go pursue all of that. And they downplay the significance of empathy or the significance of fairness or team kinds of goals. Mutuality and all the accountability that goes along with that would just disrupt all of that. So the rat theory says when you have all of this shifty and I'm not going to let you know except on a need to know kind of basis, there's probably a strong tendency towards having a secondary life that they're just not wanting you to be into. And it's their way of having that control and entitlement and all the rest. But obviously it indicates you're dealing like you are with a rat, with somebody that has a dirty way of life, if you will. And there's not a cleanness of a psychological nature. And so I'm wanting you to be aware of the rat theory and what it is. Not that we can just disparage these individuals. I know it's kind of an easy thing to do, but so that you can have a sense of resolve. And I'm hoping your resolve is simply going to be this: I cannot, in good conscience, move forward with you or anyone else until your walls are completely and permanently removed. Openness and that mutuality that I mentioned are so essential to having healthy relations. And if that's something you're unwilling to do, then it's time for us to break as much tie as we can. And because I need to go on with some folks that know how to manage things right. I don't want to be living in a world of rats. Now, I do hope that you find some good insight and personal awareness with videos such as this. And if you've not already hit that subscribe button, go beneath the video here and hit that, and that little bell right next to it. You know, sometimes when you have situations like this that are talked about, it can stir up some issues inside of you, and you want to unpack it with a licensed professional counselor. And right now, many people are looking online for that. And I've vetted a group. It's a trusted sponsor that we have here, and we have a link below that if you need some online counseling, I would strongly encourage you to go ahead and get the help that you need. In addition, we have other resources, my online video workshops and things of that nature, and also my books. And then we have our websites, drlescarter.com, survivingnarcissism.tv. And so we have all of that there so that you can just have help beyond what we are able to provide through these videos. And I really want you to use the resources as possible. Now, just keep in mind, we're going to commit to openness. We're going to commit to goodness and that mutuality that I mentioned. And if someone comes along that says, I cannot and will not do it, it's like, okay, I got it. But I'm going to be moving on with people who have dignity, respect, and civility. That's what I'm committed to. No rats in my house.